more difficult, a lot more data points to worry about. So we're going to just simplify this. We're going to say fuel learning table will be zeroed out. We'll say yes. We're not going to transfer anything here to the table. And then what this is going to do is we can see it shrinks down. Now, it doesn't give us a lot of resolution. That's okay. What we can do here is build it in this small resolution scale, and then we can always go back here to large table. We'll just expand it back out. This just simplifies building the base file. First thing I like to consider here, if we're taking a look at this, we find that we have our breakpoints on the side. What I like to do here is spit about the middle of the table here, so about the middle breakpoint, so roughly here or here. We'll set this to 100 kPa. That is going to be the equivalent of atmospheric pressure. And then what we're going to do here is have half the table here split for vacuum, and then the other half here split for boost. Now the reason why I'm doing this is a road race application, a street application. It gives better drivability. We have more data points to hit. I'd rather have more data points in idle and part throttle, where I spend the majority of the time for this application, rather than in boost. So we're getting up here into the higher loads, where we're going to spend less time, maybe only 5 or 10% of the runtime of the engine. It is going to be more pertinent and important to have better drivability in this application. Now, if you have a drag race application, it may not be so important. You might not be able to, you might really not care what your breakpoints are set at. But in this case, I want to be a little bit more specific with this. I want to have a little bit better drivability. I'm going to pick this data point in the table right here, and I'm just going to double click, and I'm going to set this here to 100 kPa. We can see it auto scales down here, but we're going to go and rescale this ourselves. Let's go and set this point here at 90. We'll go set this point at 80. Oops, looks like we need to go back here. Typed the wrong number. 90, 80, 70, 60, 50, 40. Now, this isn't going to be ideal, so we're going to have to go ahead and kind of reconfigure this a little bit. We'll go here, 190. Let's do this one at 75. Let's do with the one at 60. We'll do moving 15 instead of 10 kPa breakpoints. We're just going to be a little bit more specific with this. So right here, we're going to see this is going to go to let's do 45. Let's do this one here at 30. We'll do one here at 15 and then 0. So we're just trying to fit in as many data points as we can. What we'll find is idle and part throttle, specifically idle, we're going to probably be around 60 to 45 here, kind of in this range of kPa on a mild cam like this. If you have a really big cam, you might be at here at something like 90 to 75 kPa, so you're going to be up here. It's going to kind of depend on where you're going to be operating at for vacuum and the map sensor, depending on the cam profile. But we want to make sure that this table here, we have half of it essentially split for vacuum, the other half here split for boost, and that's exactly what we've accomplished. Now, so the next thing we need to worry about here is going in and scaling our breakpoints for boost. Now, in this case, we have a 2.5 bar map sensor installed. That's going to be the peak breakpoint here, the peak boost level we can put into the breakpoint. I'm not going to scale any lower than that, but I am going to go here and kind of fill in the blanks between my breakpoints, between 100 and then the highest breakpoint we're expecting with the map sensor we have selected, which is a 2.5 bar. Now, this has about a 19 to 20 pound supercharged pulley on the supercharger, so we should be somewhere about 230 kPa, 235 kPa at max. But we need to scale this table out here so we have adequate breakpoints and resolution. Let's go here and just move in 25 kPa increments as we're going up in the positive manifold kPa thresholds here. So we'll do 125 kPa, we'll do 150 kPa, we'll do 175 kPa. Oops, let's go back here and edit, undo that. Try that again here. So I did Control Z to undo that change. 175, 200. So we're just moving up again, 25 kPa increments. 225, 250, and then finally here 265. So that's going to give us just filling in the blanks essentially between these breakpoints. So we have about half the table again split for vacuum, about the other half the table here split for boost. So that's going to be good. That's a good first step for creating our base file. Next step, putting VE values in here that we'd expect that are going to be reasonable so that we can kind of standardize the process. Again, this is going to be similar VE values you can expect to build your base map, regardless if it's a 4-cylinder, 6-cylinder, 8-cylinder, 10-cylinder engine, regardless of the displacement, as long as you've represented the injector data properly, number of cylinders, engine displacement, and fuel type in the ECU configuration. The values that I'm going to be putting in the table here will be excellent starting points for almost any engine. So what I'm going to do is go into my table here. From 90 kPa down below, from 450 to about 1100 RPM, I'm going to set all these to 50% volumetric efficiency. 285, 265 kPa here. Between that same range, I'm going to set this to 80% volumetric efficiency. I'm going to go and just do a interpolation here. So we're going to go and right click. We're going to go into fill column values. This is going to be just populating a table out. What I'm going to do now is just take all these values here. We're going to just copy this, go all the way to 6,500, paste, and then I'm going to just do a horizontal interpolation here. So I'm going to right click, we're going to do fill row values, so we're just going to do interpolation. Now, what we need to do is take a guesstimate at where the peak torque is going to be for the engine. That's the peak cylinder pressure, the peak cylinder filling. At the peak cylinder filling, we're going to have higher volumetric efficiency values. So we need to go in here and put some values into the table and kind of guess at where the peak torque is going to be. I'm going to say it's between 4,000 to 5,000. I'm going to guess that I need to increase this about 30%, just give or take, at that peak torque, peak VE range. So we're going to go and right click, go to offset, select it, shift asterisk 1.3. That's going to be adding 30% or multiplying by 30%. All right. Now what we're going to do here is go...
Thanks for checking out our teaser clip. If you want to see the rest of this video and more than 500 hours of current EFI training we have to offer, make sure you click right here. If you want to go and check out more teaser clips from this training course, click here. And you don't want to miss any of the videos we're going to be releasing on this channel, so make sure you subscribe and click here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.